attention. But we're going to be jumping straight into game number 1. We're going to have drafts on the bottom of the screen, and we'll try to get caught up as best we can.
And why is this so exciting, you might say? Well, LNG coming in from spring, not very exciting, you know, somewhere middle of the pack. People had expectations for them. They were talking about MSI, maybe Worlds later on. The names remain the same. However, this time around, they have exceeded expectations from spring coming into this one, and they have been tested so far as we're moving into our first game between the two teams. They took down Top Esports in a very convincing 2-0 fashion. So they've taken down LPL's number 2 from spring, and now they're up against LPL's number 1 and undefeated BLG.
Now let's take a look at these drafts, because we do have some spice. That mid lane matchup, super important for us in Knight versus Scout. Knight crowning himself with the Zeri for game number 1.
Ooh, that's very exciting. Zeri has been seeing a lot more gameplay recently, especially in that mid lane. Wins a lot of those trades versus other AD carries. However, I do like the late invade coming in from BLG right here. Again, he makes sure that WeiWei does not get a lot of these seeds planted before he can pop them up to start clearing his jungle. Slows down the clear just by a little bit. Zara doesn't get too hurt, but the clear speed anyway. However, it does slow it down quite a bit in the early, and especially when you have a jungle like Sejuani, which is more of a facilitator slash ganker rather than a farmer, you definitely want to be slowing down a tiny bit. That's Zara clear.
And we will have a little bit of time here to talk maybe about what these teams are looking for. You have a ton of Venn diagram potential there for BLG. They're looking for heavy 5-on-5 team fights where there's a lot of setup for the individual pieces of LNG.
Oh, absolutely. And I feel like majority of the talk has been about the solo lanes for BLG and who can rise to the occasion to take them down. Bin and Knight have been very staple and strong, rock solid pieces, I want to say, to that equation. However, LNG, they showed a different face versus Top Esports. They played for sides, they played for lane dominance, and if they can show the exact same thing here, take down Knight, take down Bin, and play for the 1-3-1s or the 1-4s, they could potentially have a really strong chance versus BLG.
Good indeed. They've shown so much dominance, and a lot of that recency has been through Scout, which I find really awesome to see. When he had a lot of, rough moments, I'd say, to start the early parts of the summer split, and LNG in the placement stage did have a lot of questions levied their way, but Scout has really turned it up here in the Rumble stage and in Group Ascend, and now he'll have to turn it up even more against Knight on this Zeri versus Yone pick.
I love that. If you're going, 110% to beat Top Esports, you need to bring in 150% to beat BLG. Nice hook.
We put the combo off there on the dodge away. A decent out. Fourth shot gonna hit him on the back end. Do a decent amount as WeiWei and Hung actually surrounding this one. We're thinking about going for it as they do have another fourth shot available. And there they go, the lollipop. El gonna burn his flash. Does get a ton of healing back from On and the heal burnt, but summoner spells have been used on bot side.
Great gank towards the bot side of the map by WeiWei, taking the summoners off of Elk. When you play in such a short range, AD carry becomes very, very scary to walk up to a lane like a Nautilus and Jhin. So much CC between the two. The Q is going to miss right there. WeiWei's back. You missed him.
Oh,
he's still there.
They run straight into the hook. On with a nice little show of faith and a bit of agility. There's the flash play from Shun on top side, though. Bin is going to try to get the kill on her turret. Beautiful juggling, and Bin and Shun make the play for first blood for BLG.
Meanwhile, WeiWei still hunting that bot lane, depriving them of experience, of gold, getting anywhere near their tower. LNG right here, they'll grab a turret plating. However, on the top side of the map, it is a cannon with a kill. You do have an exhaust on Hang later on whenever that electric rat dives into the fight. However, if Bin gets too far ahead on a champion that can do damage, we have seen his impact on fights before.
Gala's going to have a decent CS differential over Elk. We are seeing a bit of a weird redeploy from BLG as they're bringing Elk towards mid lane. They had brought Knight out towards bot side, and that's the benefit of having the double ADCs. Then you can play a little bit flexible with the lanes themselves.
Yeah, the lane is going to push towards Elk as well right here. And of course, mid lane is the shortest lane of the two. So definitely you want to be having The AD carry that is right now summonerless. He'll get his barrier back now.
He'll get the swap
However,
down
it's much
eventually.
easier. Yeah, it's much easier. It's only gonna be just for now until they fix up the wave. And as you can see, Knight is already on his way. Didn't have teleport. Took that reset through the both side of the map, and they're not really gonna miss much. I think Knight's probably gonna miss like 1 or 2 creeps. He's gonna hit level 6 first before Scout. Scout's already taking his reset right here, coming back with the Circus Greaves.
So
Pretty chill early game so far, apart from the bot lane dive.
yeah, and I'm taking a look at the pathing culminations for both junglers. Definitely some top lane focus from Shun, but I really like this focus from WeiWei down towards bot side. They have Dragon up and available to them, but they also have a massive lead for Gala so far with the Jhin over Elk. And Jhin will be oppressive if he gets a little bit ahead now that he has the Swifties. You can get the trades so easily, and that 4th shot becomes that much more deadly.
See, oh, Shun is looking for Zika
They've
again.
come back.
Only level 5 for Zika.
They've come back and they brought help. Knight's here as well. They do have the all-out for Zika, though. He's going to pull him back. Fate sealed on Shun. They're in a lot of trouble. We have Knight popping his lightning crash. With a lot of AoE back, they're going to push onto the turret here. Ben is just going to go for the slicing maelstrom combo, but a nice double knocker from Scout. In the turret shot, the flash, Scout gets the kill, a double kill for him. And they did find a play on bot side too, as Gala got the kill there. They're not going to get him either. And my goodness, LNG set the map aflame.
LNG are controlling the entire map. Scout pulling TPs to defend his top lane. Zika just about getting that level 6 to survive. Meanwhile, WeiWei bot lane again. Look at all these creeps that Elk is missing on.
He's already down 30 CS, man. Oh my
man.
goodness, it is a catastrophe. BLG kept trying to be proactive, but now 2 kills on Scout, 2 kills on Gala. BLG will scrap up something with the grubs. Here's that play topside.
And watching this again, that was great timing from Shun. However, when this cannon goes down, Zika gets level 6, and he'll use his ultimate to pull him back, to pull Shun back onto the tower, giving enough time for Scout to finish that TP and defend. BLG are not happy with this. They'll take the tire plane and they're like, now we are diving. However, Bin does not do enough damage yet. There's enough shields on Cassante and Yone to take them both down. BLG overextend. They get their hands cut off. And WeiWei, once again towards the both side of the map, took the summoners from the first time around. This time they took their lives.
This combo is just so oppressive. The flash guaranteeing the 4th shot there, and then Elk already with a massive wave there, just has no hope.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not just about dodges that. I'm not the biggest enjoyer of Jhin. However, there's
Hate is
only
gonna
one
hate.
tank. There's only one tank on the side of BLG, and Shun can only tank so much. So getting that Jhin ahead is actually going to hurt later on in the game.
And that's why I really liked WeiWei pathing down towards that bot side, even with the grubs going over to BLG. But now Dragon is still up on the table. They are hovering down this side. They have strength through the Jhin. And just trying to get as many resources as possible for LNG before the Venn diagrams start to come to bear for BLG.
Ooh, Scout taking a favorable trade right here on tonight before he snaps back into his soul.
Should miss the Arctic Assault there. Just bumps the wall a little bit, you know?
A little bit overzealous right there. I don't know if there was any follow-up there. On was around, but there's no way you can reach without your ultimate, and Knight had already taken that trade. So Juani ultimate going down means there's no engaged potential for BLG there for LNG. We'll take that Dragon for free. Thank you very much. That'll be the first one of the game. Going over to their side, and again, 2-0 off of the back of that teleport towards the top side of the map. And guess what? Death, taxes, WeiWei, bot lane dive.
Why not? Especially this game. You've been able to return to that well, just as BLG have tried to return to the top side. Just gets completely caught in the middle of his move, but he does have a nice escape as the Grand Entrance comes up clutch, and On survives, but they are seeding so much pressure on this bot side, and maybe even all the plates too.
Yeah, very lucky to survive right there. I feel like on overextended, you knew WeiWei was around. This was not your side of the map to play on. And let's watch this replay again. Ooh, very nice. That's how the flash was forced off of Elk. Again, Kai'Sa was one of those champions where we saw in the previous series can be extremely oppressive. Both Light and Hope used her to her utmost potential, but you're so very short-ranged in lane, so if you get bullied, you lose your flash, it gets so dangerous to walk up into unfavorable matchups. And right here, Jin getting that static shift, grabbing the boots as well of swiftness. Gonna be so quick on the map. Shun is looking top lane one more time, but now there's backup for LNG.
Very interested in the static shift start there, but Zika being surrounded by BLG. They're gonna pounce on the Hung though instead. Nice double knock up there. Elk gonna get exhausted outright. Hung still alive. They got the CC right back on a Shun, who gets all outed, and WeiWei is the one that cleans him up. Now you're gonna get the curtain call out and slowdowns on the bin. Get the fourth shot though. In the end, they do defend the turret, although they're about to threaten another plate up here for BLG.
Great 4-man rally up the top to try and save Zika underneath his tower. On has been playing with fire a little bit too much. Playing onto the Rakan tends to be a little bit more squishy than all the other engaged champions that we're used to seeing. 2-0 on Scout, 2-0, 1 on to Gala. Static shift completed. You shred through that wave. That static shift damage is just about enough, so you can just... Oh.
That's the flash.
Oh!
Does have a lot of damage with the static shift.
Only still level 5. What?
He's level 6 now.
Only still level 5. Just about got that level 6. But now the rest of LNG are here. The reset.
Look at the follow through. That's the double marksman. That's the double ADC there. They're going to try to continue to fight over the grubs, though. That's 4 already secured by BLG. And they're looking at grub again here, too, unless LNG want to stop them.
The only one who could stop them was WeiWei walking forward, grabbing that smite. We just mentioned On just hit that level 6, which means that he was willing to commit that flash to get that engage forward. WeiWei, I think, was about 3 seconds off of having that flash available for himself. Meanwhile, bot lane, another tower is going to fall. First tower, sorry, is going to fall in favor of LNG right there. Zika is going to make sure of that.
Finally gets it. The slicing maelstrom used has been a little bit of an angry yell to the skies. Is actually flashed, burned there. Ben has an angle here. He'll have his shuriken coming up as well. WeiWei is right behind him, and the shield comes in. Is the burn going to be enough? Zika makes it out alive. WeiWei not able to chase down Ben.
Oof, the Leander is just about getting there. On now is looking for an angle onto WeiWei, potentially if he pushes too far forward. WeiWei's not going to be the case. It's going to push in that wave. On is going to spot him on the Grump. However, they do not have the tools available right now. The ultimate was used by Bin's cannon. So WeiWei is going to be able to clear around his jungle. They're going to spot him, and then he's going to be heading towards the top side of the map. But for now, there's not going to be much on the map. 120 until next Dragon Hang. He's going to start moving towards that bot side, establishing a little bit of vision. Having that Jin and Scout on that Yone is super fed. Can very easily start taking those fights.
Now we look towards mid lane with Gala having taken pole position here as well. The threat of engage always there. Knight getting massive. You saw in that gold chart on the left earlier. He's right on par with Gala, who's the richest in the game. So the big team fighting potential for BLG, it's still going to be something that LNG have to answer towards. We do have both objectives spawning on top of each other, so maybe a bit of decision making to be made.
For LNG, you could definitely be looking to snowball your victory by taking that Rift Herald, and I feel like it all has to do with positioning. They have the exhaust for the cannon to come through. You mentioned the wombo combo coming in for BLG. If one Sejuani ultimate lands, if On can get a great flank or a 3-man, 2-man ult into the backline of LNG, you'll see Bin flying in. Not flash available for Bin yet. There is no rocket belt either, so he can't necessarily close up the space really quickly as he could before. And BLG are going to head towards the top side of the map. They are still looking for Zika, which they have been majority of the time. However, LNG are going to shove in that mid lane and push through there.
So first items for everybody except for the supports so far. We're getting the TP in from Scout. Shun be pushed out of this setup around the Rift Herald. They're going to try to find this flank going off right now. On pops the trigger, then Knight going to hit the lightning crash. They are all alone back here, and sometimes the best laid plans of mice and men, well, they go awry, as Scout's going to clean this one up as well. Gala's the one that gets the kill in the end, and that'll be 2 quick body bags scooped up by LNG.
On was looking for the perfect flank, and he had almost made it, but WeiWei, he knew deep in his gut that something was not right. They couldn't see Knight and On anywhere. The TP. Ooh.
It is.
Oh, the TP coming through. We got debated for a second.
They saw the TP
But
from
Bin is coming
Zika
in.
down towards bot, so now they want the play up towards top side. Glacial Prison gonna go wide. This feels so forced by BLG. Oh, Scout's taking advantage of him now. Slicey Maelstrom popped there in the end. And LNG, they will try to strike back, but the Rift Herald's still going to be secured by BLG. So topside neutral objectives have been fully under Bilibili's control.
I feel like BLG are trying so hard to establish some dominance on the Rift. They've been forcing that TP over there, Shun throwing that ult, not hitting. They're trying everything they can, and nothing is sticking yet. Is the second neutral objective for them. They'll have the 6 grubs available to them, and they'll get that Rift Herald too. Let's see the usage that they're going to choose to go for on that Rift Herald. They need to take the reset, of course, first, and then they can possibly go for the Dragon. They have been pinging him. Oh, the plant spotted him, I feel like, right before he died. So WeiWei literally baits Wiki's body, and then the entirety of LNG just collapses onto Knight and On.
I knew exactly what was up in a lot of regards, but it also is just really good collapse instantly for 2 members that were completely away from the rest of their team. We also look back into live. It is going to be a second Dragon by LNG. So both teams having their preferred side of the map for objectives so far. They're going to have to start clashing heads eventually, as Ben is trying to dodge out of everything. Does do so. And now they have the TP from Knight, who's going to immediately lightning crash. You're going to dive under turret here. He has the damage, and there you go. Ben gets him with a long distance shuriken, and they're going to try to push this outer turret as they have the Rift Herald spawn too.
That's a 5-man top lane for BLG. They're looking to use that Rift Herald to take at least 2 towers. You see Knight instantly back and try to defend that mid lane push. There's a bot lane push for LNG as well. How much can they get out of this Rift Herald?
Oh,
What
they
is
try to
going
get
on,
him. He's
Hank?
trying to Spider-Man out. The depth charge is going to buy time, but it's not going to be enough. He will be one auto attack. No, they don't get him. Okay, finally. As that will be another one going over. It's still the charge into a tier 2. And now that's 2 turrets down for BLG's favor. And a little bit of damage done to their own tier 2s by LNG.
Ken, the only downside for LNG, they had 2 lanes pressuring, right? They had mid lane and they had bot lane. However, Jin, he's not the fastest turret taker that you have as an AD carry. You only have 4 shots, then you have to reload, then another 4. He wouldn't be as fast as any other AD carry with attack speed, and he's only going to be able to take half that tier 2 in the mid lane down. And let's watch this again. Scout, he's looking for Bin. However, that ultimate is not necessarily going to hit onto Bin. Missing right there. Hang is missing as well. His hook, and they get TP'd on Knight. Great flank TP to capitalize on Scout, overextending onto his top laner, and that's a 5-man top lane run from BLG. And they do manage to get not only the kill, but also 2 towers.
As you said, the push from mid lane not super strong at BLG. Just knew they could try to capitalize on this play. They still had the Slicing Maelstrom as well available. Really good follow-up just to secure it. It was a little dicey. A couple summoner spells being burned both ways. But luckily they were able to secure that one in the end. And come back to live though. It's a lot of presence from BLG on the top side of the map. Still a consistent advantage by LNG this whole game. And we're getting the second items completed for a majority of their members.
Bin is looking. He's not gonna take the step forward. Diving into a Yone is never the easy choice right there. You could have end up getting collapsed on as 3 members of LNG are heading towards that top side of the map, and we've still yet to see that big wombo combo coming in from BLG. The big TPs, the flanks, the fights, making sure that you pile up that CC on certain targets to take them down with Shun and On, and they do have the scaling on their side. This is going to be more of an AD-oriented carry Kai'Sa in the hands of Elk. So not a lot of the poke, more of the consistent damage to take down the tanks like the Cassante and like the Nautilus that will be playing in the front line.
Yeah, BLG are going to have a ton of consistent damage with the Zeri Kai'Sa combo there, especially with the build that you were highlighting for Elk. But it is on the other side. You have to look to the pickouts available in front of these objectives, and especially Scout, who once he gets those 3 items, we know what Yone can do. We've already been over it so many times. It feels like tonight it has been a primo pick for the LPL so far, but it is a moment of reprieve, and that's where we could cycle back to that original conversation of how important Knight and Scout are in this game. They are both heads and above major carriers post this 20-minute mark.
Yeah, and for Knight, he hasn't really been afraid to pull these TPs to try to play for the more offensive plays. And this is why we say always that BLG is the final boss, because LNG has showed a really great face so far in the competition and in the group ascent. However, unless you get tried by BLG, you've not been tried. These guys are so versatile in the way they want to play. They'll take a full team fighting composition and they'll start 1-3-1 and with it. Saying that though, LNG are looking. Q is not going to connect by Hang, but at least they know that we're in there.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if they could maybe get somebody with the wild dredge line there in the end. But the Dragon is in about 50 seconds here. And in a sense, this is definitely going to be a point where BLG will feel strong if they can get themselves into those 5-on-5s that we're talking about. LNG going to be looking for as many picks as possible in the downtime here.
Yeah, and if you look over at LNG, they're looking to finish second item onto Scout as well. They finished every other second item apart from the support, so they're looking pretty strong. I would say finishing that second item onto Yone is definitely going to help, not only in team fights, but also in side lanes. And it's going to be a massive threat. I feel like LNG have been playing it a little bit more slow, same as BLG, to try and get those item completions in. There is a wait for Scout. Is the item going to be completed? It's not quite going to be the case. Oh, it is. He just completed the last second before he landed. All right. All right. He's quick.
So does have the shield bow now with a little bit of fighting strength in the team fights as well. He's going to try to push this out, but I love the vision being highlighted by the observers. Big TP flanks, and Bin, he's going to have a lot of say in these big team fights now that he's here for them.
You definitely want to be getting that backline. Bin is still looking. He's not moving. He's hitting into Fog of War. That would be the perfect TP flank. However, they need to know that LNG is committed either into fighting BLG or way far into this drag on the TP.
They do. They're going to pull the trigger now. It's LNG. They're going to try to close the trap beforehand. But look, it's been the slicing maelstrom. They don't even need it yet. He's going to pop it. It's not even the combo. As LNG are going to pull it right back. Look at Scout. He flashes over. He's going to get him. He take down Elk. And now Knight and Bin, they're on the wrong side. Knight's just dying to a turret. It's BLG. They're caught with their pants down. LNG will take that all day.
Massive team fight from Scout right here to save the day. Gala dies instantly on the initial engage. All the money is on this Jhin. Losing him early on could be so detrimental. Shunna is around. Both smites up and available. It would be a 50-50, but Zika definitely wants to keep that Sejuani away from the objective. That would be so point scary for LNG.
Odds here now too. Do they have the wherewithal to get in there and shouldn't steal it away? Looks like it's not going to be the case this time around. It'll be sole point secured by LNG, and they trudge ever onward in a very strong game for them so far.
Again, Zika is playing Guardian here, but look at a great TP flank coming in from Bin. They'll take on down first with the squishiest member, but that flank, even though he was exhausted, it did not matter. Again, Bin at a very great position to carry, and Scout played his mind out, kept dashing through walls, using that soul to get back through, snapping back. Unfortunately, he snapped back onto Shun with not much HP left. However, this is still a 3-4-2 in favor of LNG due to Scout playing out of his mind in this one.
And now we take a look back at what that fight has paid off for. It is 3 items for Knight, having a lot of teamfight damage with the Runans completed, but also importantly, Rallies and the Seekers there for WeiWei. Himself going to have a lot of tools in his pockets. Now BLG, they're actually the ones moving forward on top side of the map.
They're moving in as a death ball. Only Elk remains in the mid lane. They're looking for Scout. They might find him right here. He doesn't know. He doesn't know.
They got him. They actually take him down. Knight just eviscerates him. And now they can maybe even move on to the bear. And there's the pings at least coming onto it.
WeiWei doesn't have his smite up and available just yet. The Baron is going to get started. Zika's moving in. They do still have Gala and WeiWei alive. They just need to keep them alive for the fight.
Got to get the vision in there now. They have their control wards up. Curtain call has been pulled. Going down now on, still on a big flank. Shun in the back of the pit. Taking a little bit of damage on the end of that one as WeiWei steps forward. He's trying to get the plants down himself. Baron getting low. 5,000 down. Shun out of the back of the pit now as well. Still on that massive flank. They're going to try to get Gala as well. They're going to flash over now. Fourth shot available for Gala. The Baron has been pulled off of now. Elk able to get away nicely. Shun backing in the push with Odd. Very, very aggressive backs. The Baron maybe just started up by LNG now.
At this point, there are no HP bars for BLG to stick around on. He has to commit to it. He only has about 30% of his HP, and he's super squishy scout. He's able to refresh and join.
Feels like a little bit of an overextended play by BLG, but LNG are going to force their hand here. Gala saving his fourth shot. He's just going to wait to see if they want to use it on the Baron. Shun around the back of the pit. Can he get the steal away? Scout's going to try to fight him. Now the engage from Hung. Fourth shot goes straight into On. He's gone now as well. WeiWei going to the back of the pit, but Scout's just been killing Shun. Shun waited way too long in the back there. He's down. Engage does go wide by the remaining LNG members, but they'll get the big purple worm, and they'll extend their gold lead.
Incredibly great patience coming in from LNG. The second they saw Shun anywhere near the pit, hands up. No one was hitting that Baron. BLG could not get anywhere near to try and assist in terms of damage, or potentially Shun to steal it away. Great stuff from LNG yet again. They used the low health bars, which they forced off of BLG to turn onto the Baron, knowing that BLG cannot contest. BLG tried to, ended up losing two, lost the Baron as well, and now Scout with the Baron up side lane. They're pulling a TP onto him, but WeiWei straight in this brush waiting.
Oh, it's the double. As Bin and Knight really trying to put some presence back on the map by BLG. Nice little moment of play, though, from LNG, who have been dominant. I mean, both of these teams undefeated, both of them having barely lost any games here, but LNG representing.
And BLG right here, that were poked out from initially starting the Baron on. You walk too close to the fire, you get one CC onto you. Gala absolutely assassinates him, and Shun, he was in the back of the pit. He sees the Baron going low, but no one from LNG is hitting the Baron anymore. Therefore, there is no chance of stealing it away, and LNG take two and the Baron.
Now an important fight for BLG to stand tall against. Dragon Soul, a Mountain Soul to boot. In 40 seconds, LNG going to be present in full down here, I'm sure, because they have so much vision on this side of the map. They also have Baron buff for another minute and 20 seconds, so they can completely set up their lanes for this.
And it's going to be exceptionally difficult to try and fight LNG, especially when the GA that was now completed on Scout is walking down mid lane. You're going to have to kill him twice. He's been an absolute nuisance in these team fights together with WeiWei Zyra. Outputting so much damage. On caught again.
Oh, half his health bar is gone. As the Dragon might just go in favor of LNG now. The healing is going to need to come in clutch. The Dragon has already been started up, it looks like. There is actually movement now. They have the fate sealed right in, as Scout is just picking them apart by himself. He's looking for multi-kills there. The curtain call gets opened up by Gala. It's Elk that's getting chased down by Zika. Zika not going to find him. Glacial Prison right back to the verge. It's doing a little bit of damage now as BLG have to be pushed away, but it's all right as rain for LNG as they take Soul.
Hang and Zika did exactly what they have to do. They were beefy frontline walls for LNG as LNG were taking that Dragon. And again, major props to Scout. He found incredible picks. Diving in, like LNG is doing right now.
Right out. The Stranglethorn just separates everyone else, and that's a major piece of your front line there, kind of your go button for BLG. There's still the Baron up for a couple seconds. They're going to take this inhib and maybe even look at more. They feel like they have the presence, they have the momentum. They're going to take a bottom side turret and the inhib down there as well.
LNG are pushing right here for the win. 5 versus 4. They're going to take 2 inhibitor towers off of BLG's base, and so far BLG have been looking like they have no answers to the pressure. They cannot deal with Scout's Yone in the side lane. They cannot deal with him in team fights either. And let's have a look at this again, because that was a fantastic ultimate and engage through the wall from Scout. Taking both carries there, tagging them both, leaving them with super low HP. Knight and L cannot rejoin the fight just because of Scout. That is a free Dragon, and then Zika and Hang just make sure that no one walks back in. in terms of trying to steal that dragon away from them. They'll grab the soul, they'll grab the 2 inhibitors. LNG look on fire.
They really do, and they have in this Rumble stage as a whole. And it's really been a lot of Scout having really, really good moments, but honestly, the whole team kind of come together. And a lot of a resurgence from, I guess, what Spring had in store for it. But now, I think the biggest question mark does become, are you going to be able to execute these team fights even if you are super far ahead with this kind of competition that BLG have and trying to catch them unawares? We are looking at top lane siege, and they just have one more lane to break down to get all the inhibs.
I just feel like BLG do not have quite enough damage so far. Elk needs to stick on a target. It's an auto-attack Kai'Sa. You need to stick on the target, start doing damage. By the time you stick on a target, you have actually been destroyed by a Yone. The TP flag is going to come through from Bin.
He's looking. He's waiting. Predator in wait. Return.
See, I tried to catch the observers. I got done dirty.
He was waiting in the bush down there bot side, just in case.
Yeah.
Just in case. But not going to be the case this time. That's like just a little bit of damage there. They are waiting because they know that like this is their only way in.
Scout now on the bot side of the map. He's going to be joining Bin very soon. He was just checking, trying to find where the Electric Rat is hiding. They know that there's probably a flank being set up by BLG. There's always a flank set up by BLG. And on, he has been moving a little bit too close to the sun this entire series. He's not the tankiest member, you know, in a Leona, a Nautilus, a Rel. Things that you can very easily face check with a Braum, potentially. Rakan has been punished one too many times this game, specifically 5. Gala really does hurt those squishy targets onto his Jin. 4 items now completed, 5-1 and 2, 3.5k up onto Oil. On.
Oh, they're in a little bit of trouble now as the On's already gone. They got the double TPs coming in as well. Curtain Call is there. They have the Elk flank now on the Gala, but I don't think it's going to be enough now. Shoot is gone too. And all of a sudden you had this really nice setup, all these things that could have gone so well. And what matters is the kills going over to LNG. And Ben, the only remaining member on the map for BLG. That'll mean a triumphant Game 1 victory for LNG. And they clean house in a battle of the best for Group Ascend. It's going to be a slow and steady burn, but a burn nonetheless. And LNG rise to 1-0 in this best of 3.
What a great statement game from LNG. They're coming into this series undefeated. They are 3-0 so far, fighting up against the best in the LPL for this year, BLG, and serving them a first loss in this series, if you will, and it was a very decisive one as well. I feel like the lanes look stronger for LNG, their movement on the map as well, and I feel like BLG are gonna have to try and dig a little bit deeper if they want to try and go up against that tempo that LNG showed here.
And we'll take a look at the MVP from that game number 1 as well, as it will be WeiWei on the Zyra. A lot of influence there and a lot of shutdown to what BLG wanted to do.
Yeah, I feel like the Bean's TP towards the end was fantastic. He took that ward that was highlighted earlier on by our observers. However, WeiWei alone stopped him from entering this fight, which was actually huge. He could have taken a completely different turn. BLG thrive off of moments like this where they'll pick someone off by a huge play and then turn the whole game on its head. This time around, LNG shut that down straight off.
And it came from a holistic performance, it felt like. Yes, WeiWei getting MVP there, but honestly, Scout, really, really good stuff on the Yone, especially when Knight was trying to take a unique pick in the Zeri into him in mid lane. But that's it for game number 1. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back with game number 2.